Billingsley, you claim you alone have shouldered the burden of more than $10,000 in child care expenses, all because the defendant denies paternity of your daughter and refuses to help support her.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're suing Mr. Broadnax for half of those costs in the amount of $5,000 and claim today's paternity results will prove you right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Broadnax, you agree you've not done a single thing for one-year-old Bailey. You argue that it's only because Ms. Billingsley cheated on you and you don't believe you're her daughter's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Billingsley, please explain your lawsuit.
Yes, ma'am, Your Honor. So my daughter is now 21 months, and I have been taking care of her since day one. For example, for her first birthday, me and Mr. Broadnax had decided that we were going to do her birthday party, and I had decided that we were going to, I'm sorry, just seeing her breaks my heart. I had decided that I was going to take her to the zoo and customize her cake, customize her outfit, everything for her. Go all out and beyond for her. When it came down to the date of ordering those things, Mr. Broadnax went MIA. I couldn't find him, I couldn't get a hold of him. Messages on Facebook, everything you could possibly think of to try to get a hold of him.
Your Honor, tell her.
To go
You should
ahead.
tell her what I have done, Your Honor.
What he has done for me, Your Honor, is in the beginning of my pregnancy.
That might not be mine,
my first
Your Honor.
trimester was
I'm not
very
a deadbeat.
difficult.
I bought her a house. When she told me that she was pregnant, I had got her a house. I got her a car, everything.
Did. And that was the hardest thing for me because I've always worked. I've always supported myself. And when he would tell me those things, I thought he was going to do it, and he did. He did it. In the first trimester of my pregnancy, it became very difficult. I was almost unable to walk. It almost felt like I was paralyzed. He did everything for me.
I would rub her feet. I would rub her stomach. I'd talk to the baby through the stomach. I'd do everything, Your Honor.
He did, absolutely. We planned this baby. She was planned. When it came down to,
Your Honor,
she
skipped town with my baby, supposedly my child, and she's so quick to skip town.
I did, because of the fact that, one, there was suspicion that he was cheating on me.
There's suspicion she was cheating. Not me. There's suspicion she was cheating. That's why the baby might not.
I'm hearing all these stories about you two planning this baby and being together during the pregnancy. What exactly happened that changed it? There were rumors of cheating?
There was rumors of cheating. I was 3 weeks pregnant when I found out I was pregnant. It was very early in my pregnancy. I found out, I was excited. The first person I called was Mr. Broadnax to share the news because I couldn't have been more happy that I was about to have my family. And then it came down to him moving back and choosing to party constantly. It was constant. And
no, Your Honor.
When I realized how constant it had become, I requested it to stop or I was going to leave.
Mr. Broadnax.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you hear her testimony?
Yes.
Is that true?
No, Your Honor.
What happened?
Okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning, okay? All right, we met, and it was just a quick process. We met, started talking, and then she had told me she was pregnant, just like that. It happened, just like that. So when she told me she was pregnant, I wanted to man up, be the father, or just man up. And then what made me start doubting is
and once I had the baby, he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything for her after that.
Because it might not be my child. I'm not paying for another man's baby.
Look at that baby. Look at that baby, and you're gonna tell me she's not yours. But there are days that he will deny her, and there's days that he will claim her.
When did you start doubting? Because if you're getting houses and cars and going to doctor's appointments, what changed everything?
I started doubting, Your Honor, when I was just chilling at the house, and then I heard her phone go off. So I picked up her phone, and she was messaging her ex-boyfriend. I seen a message, hey, and I miss you. That's as far as it went, but I miss you. If you're missing your ex, who else you missing? And then, okay, my friend went to college, the same college that she went to, the same school. That's all I told her, go to school. And my friend said he seen her in a circle with like 3, 4 dudes all bubbly, laughing, ha, ha, ha.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that colleges only consisted of females.
But then, okay, but she's all bubbly in front of males and everything. And then when she sees my friend,
Am
she's
I not
just
allowed to
straight
have
face
friends
and walks away.
that are males?
Okay,
Bubbly
okay,
in front of males.
if
I
she's
need
texting
more
her
doubt
ex-
than that, Mr. Broadnax.
No, if she's texting her
Bubbly
ex-
in front of
Bubbly.
males is
No,
not
if
gonna.
she's texting her ex and texting her ex, missing her ex, being flirtatious in front of other dudes,
ex
who else
that
is she being who else is she talking to? What?
So, did you ever hear a rumor that she was actually sleeping with someone else?
No, Your Honor, just my dad.
Was she with anyone else, to your knowledge, during the time of conception?
Yes,
Really?
yes. It was just earlier.
What is your
I have-
proof of that?
I have evidence right here, Your Honor, stating
Jerome,
the conception
can I see
dates.
that evidence, please?
Conception dates, mind you, Your Honor, that are an estimated. These are estimated.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
As you can see, her window of conception was between early April, mid-April, from the 10th to the 18th, I believe. And then that's my work schedule. I was out of town from the 6th to the 19th.
You were away for almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Okay. So when you started having doubts, you went to a conception app.
Yes.
And so you entered Bailey's birthday, which is January 5th, 2013. And then when you generated a estimated conception date, it came up as April 10th through the 18th, which was
When I was out of town, Your Honor.
the exact time you were out of town.
Yes, ma'am.
These dates are estimated, Your
And
Honor.
Not only that, Your Honor, okay, so we were together. I've got her house, as I said. About 3-4 months, it started getting rocky. We started arguing a lot. Her claiming I was cheating, me feeling she was cheating. DNA tests, when I brought that up, she would always
That is a lie, Your Honor.
She would always get defensive, just like
That
right
is
now.
a lie.
You
When
see it
he
right
would
now.
request,
She would
no, when
always
he
get
would request
defensive.
the DNA test, I told him absolutely there's no doubt in my mind. Let's go. Let's do
That's
it.
a lie.
So
Your Honor.
why-
You
She
want to
would
have a
always
DNA
refuse.
test? I'd be more than happy to
So
prove.
Bailey's
Then why haven't
almost
we
a year
had
and
it
a
yet?
half. Why haven't you had a DNA
So
test?
when I told him to go ahead and request the DNA testing in courts, he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't follow through. So why was it that if you're the one who wants a DNA test, why didn't you go request it? I know who my baby's dad is. I know who the father of my child is. I don't need a DNA test. So if you're requesting it, why didn't you go? When he
Why didn't you go, Mr. Broadnax?
No, Your Honor, she was out of state, and I always told her she never wanted to do a DNA test. I always tell her she'd get defensive.
I have been doing
Why you
this
do this?
on
You
my
haven't
own
even
from the beginning. I have proof, Your
Because
Honor,
I
that
have
shows
doubts, Your Honor.
I have spent over almost $10,000 on this child alone, being 21 months. That's almost $500 a month. I am 21
and you
years
say
old and a
he's
single
done
mother.
nothing.
He's done
I have.
nothing. When he said he would do it, it was his mom paying.
So your testimony is he's done absolutely nothing for this child.
No, I have proof, Your Honor. I have submitted
see your
pictures to
evidence.
the court showing a few
Okay.
basic items that I have purchased for her.
Thank you.
These are only a few photos of the items I have sent. I have submitted to the court over 75 pictures of proof of the items that I have provided to her.
She told me numerous occasions that the baby is not mine.
That is a lie.
You have
Really?
never told me the baby
I've
wasn't mine?
never told you that.
Ms. Billingsley, you've never ever, in anger, anything, you've never told him this is not your child.
She's lying, Your Honor. I have a relationship now, and that's when she really wanted the
You have a
DNA test.
relationship, but
Yeah,
he sure didn't have a problem laying me down the other night, did you?
She's lying, Your Honor.
I'm lying.
So you're in a relationship, Mr. Broadnax?
Yes, Your Honor.
But you were intimate with Ms. Billingsley the
No,
other
Your Honor.
night?
No, Your Honor. She just, I guess it's jealousy. I don't know what it is, Your Honor.
Ms. Billingsley, was he intimate with you?
I will take a lie detector test on that one.
If she's my baby, Your Honor, I'm not a deadbeat. I will man up.
Jerome, you think I should send him back for a lie detector test?
The eyes say yes.
Well, all right.
Perfect. Good.
If Bailey is your biological daughter, do you want to try to work things out with Ms. Billingsley?
Man, Your Honor, That's hard because I know we have past conflicts, but if it is my child, I would want to build a family with this woman.
Does your girlfriend know this?
No, Your Honor.
Well, Jerome, I don't think we need a lie detector test now, do we?
Man.
As you can put that in bank and cash it.
I can see it in his eyes.
Yep. How do you feel?
Hurt, lied to, and not trustworthy. I don't trust him. Knowing that he can sit there and have sex with me while he's in a relationship with another woman.
But did you know he was in a relationship with the other woman when you had sex with him?
I did.
Well, then that,
Come on, Your Honor.
I did.
you
Yeah.
know, truth, honesty, they're two-way streets.
Oh, I know.
Trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But if he's willing to do that to her, why doesn't it make me believe that he would do it to me? And he's standing
Honor,
here saying that he wants to be a family.
If we
Then
could work
start
out our
doing something for
conflicts,
your daughter.
if we could work out our conflicts, once we get
What
this
are our
DNA test
conflicts
back,
other than the
and-
fact that you won't take care of your child?
'cause I want the DNA test. I want to know 100%
That's what I'm saying.
sure. And
Other
that's what
than
we're here
that,
for,
what
Your Honor.
conflict is there?
The only way to get past all of these doubts is to get the results. Mr. Broadnax, you have a relationship on the line right now.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you may, in fact, find out you have a beautiful daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Billingsley,
Yes, Your Honor.
you gave Bailey his last name.
I did. I did.
And is he on the birth certificate? Did he sign the birth certificate?
No, Your Honor, I've submitted a picture of the birth certificate showing that he is
able
not,
to see her get born or none of that, Your Honor.
because he wasn't there for the birth.
Ms. Billingsley, if he's not her biological father, will you change her name?
Yes.
So is there a chance he's not her biological father? Since we're in court, we might as well go on ahead and tell the truth and shame the devil. That's what I say.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
So there is a chance.
I had doubt at first due to the fact that when he was out of town and we were constantly fighting, I did call somebody and one thing led to another. It was not meant to happen, but it was not in any time frame of the conception date. When I had her, there was no doubt. There is no doubt at all that that child is not his. They look alike. She has traits
But
that
when
he
he
does.
was presenting his calendar of when he worked versus when the conception dates were, you said, your testimony was, and that's just an estimation. Mm-hmm. So when you say you weren't intimate with someone during the window of conception, is that an estimation? That's an honest question.
No, it's not an estimation. It would have been too farther ahead to have had
Your Honor,
her
she only
in
calls for
January.
money. I just want these DNA results. She only calls for money.
I only call for money for you to.
Well, hold on, Mr. Broadnax,
just trying to
before
get to
you
the
get up
bottom of
on
this.
your soapbox and start pontificating.
You ain't innocent.
You just said you wanted to be with her if the baby was yours, so you just leave well enough alone.
No, if we could work out our
Get
problems.
these results, which I have for you. Are we ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Billingsley v. Broadnax, pertaining to whether Arthur Broadnax is the father of 1-year-old Bailey Broadnax. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Broadnax, you are the father.
Okay, Your Honor, with that being said, I'm
Step
gonna man
up.
up, step up to the plate, and start taking care of my
She
daughter.
needs her father.
But I need time with her, not just money. You need to let her stay with me for time, not just send money.
Listen, before we get to where we go from here, you submitted expenses, child care expenses to the court that totaled $10,444. This court finds that Ms. Billingsley is in fact entitled to half of those child care expenses. However, the maximum this court can order is $5,000. So with that said, judgment for the plaintiff for $5,000. Mr. Whisler, you claim you currently owe almost $21,000 in back child support
Yes, Your Honor.
for the defendant's son, a young man you believe may not be yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say your paycheck is garnished each week, leaving you only $70.
Yes, Your Honor.
If today's results prove you are not the young man's father, you plan to return to your home state to get this enormous debt erased.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Frazier, you admit you've always known the plaintiff may not be your son's biological father, but acknowledge he's been held financially responsible for him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yet regardless of whether or not today's results prove he's the father, you say he really just needs to get over it.
Yes, Your Honor.
No.
Mr. Whisler,
We're here today to get this settled once and for all. I've been waiting
well, tell
18
me why
years.
you doubt paternity.
Because, Your Honor, we were in a relationship, and about late 2005, she comes to me and tells me she's pregnant. And I always ask her, are you for sure it is mine?
You had doubts from the beginning.
Yes, ma'am. I had a torsion. That, the doctor said right there, no, you're unable to have children.
So the doctors told you you weren't
Yes, Your Honor.
able to have children due to a medical condition.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And now I've got this bill, $21,000. They're wanting me to pay for somebody else.
Never asked child support from you. I never asked them to get child support from you, ever. Never.
Yes, you want to
No,
go
I haven't.
down and take care of this like a young
I went
lady.
down there. You can look at the paperwork. The
yeah.
paperwork always said the other guy's name.
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to find out today.
That's cool.
We
That's
are going
good.
to find out today the honest to God's truth.
That's-
Of this
So, hold
18
on.
years that I've been living through this, excuse my language.
Please be respectful in the court, sir. So, Ms. Frazier, when you found out you were pregnant, did you tell Mr. Whisler it was his child?
I told him I was pregnant, and he told me it wasn't his.
And the other guy that you say you always put his name on all the paperwork.
All the paperwork.
This other guy signed
What
the
about
birth
the birth certificate?
No.
What
You
about
wanted-
the birth certificate?
you wanted him to have your last
told
name.
You told me if I wanted that kid
To have your
my
last
last
name.
name and I wanted to claim him, I would be there for the birth.
Yeah.
And I was there.
That's
and
why
I
you got
did
your
it.
last name.
And then it come out a little while later that you had been sleeping with this other man all this time.
At 6 months, you knew.
Yeah, at 6 months after birth. After the fact.
So, Mr.
Right.
Whisler,
Yeah, and
you
And
did sign
You
the
did
birth
that is
certificate.
wrong. I can't go on with my life now.
You did sign the birth certificate,
Yes,
am I
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
And you claim that not until the child was 6 months old were you told that there could be a question regarding the paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
So take me back to that time. How did she tell you this?
She told me straight up, yes, it could be this other man's.
because he was proud to have a son and not denying it like you.
He should be standing up if it's his kid.
He
should be
does.
standing up for it. Why
did.
am I reliable to pay this over $21,000
I didn't
when I
ask
was
for that.
working?
I ain't seen none of that
They were
money.
taking most of my paycheck.
I've never given it to me. I ain't got no child support one.
You never,
Never.
received any child
Nope.
support from the state of Missouri.
Nope.
I
Not
think
one.
You are.
Hold on,
have
Mr.
not.
Whisler, what is the evidence you keep holding up?
This.
May I see that,
A
please?
letter I received from the Child Enforcement of the state of Missouri just about 2 weeks ago, Your Honor.
But they're not giving it to me. I've never received child support.
And, you know, that just don't add up.
This letter from the state of Missouri indicates total past due support $20,850.
Yes, Your Honor.
56 cents.
And I've paid no telling how much already on this child.
And so you say the other man may be the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So did he ever pay child support?
No. I've never gotten any. No, at all.
Were you receiving assistance from the state?
Food stamps.
Okay. So if you were getting assistance from the state, they're going to then follow up with the father, the legal father
Yes.
of record,
And I am lucky
to pay them back
Right.
the money. You
But
understand?
on the paper.
So who did you tell the state?
On the paper, it asked if there was anybody else who could be a biological father, and I've always put down the other guy's name, always.
Did you put down Mr. Whisler's name too?
That was the name on the birth certificate.
But Mr. Whisler, because you signed the birth certificate, under the law, you are
Yes,
the
Your
legal
Honor.
father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you
have-
understand that when you were signing that birth certificate that day?
Yes, Your Honor, I certainly did, but I was to the impression it was my child. There
I
was no
understand.
other ifs, ands, or buts about it. It was mine. And now, here, $21,000 later in debt.
And so you brought a witness. I'd like to hear
Yes,
from her.
ma'am.
Ma'am, please stand. Ms. Owsley, thank you for joining us. Your relationship to Mr. Whisler is,
Fiance.
what do you know about this situation?
I've been doing some research, and that's what I have here on child support.
Jerome, will you hand me that evidence, please? What
Now,
do you
they
know?
can come after her.
And this evidence
this.
is presented to prove what exactly, Ms. Owsley?
The penalty for lack of child support.
So your concern is your fiance could go to jail
Exactly.
for failure to pay child support.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. You know, I don't know if there's going to be a knock at the door. You know, come get him, take him away, because he owes the back child support.
And I've seen them take people for less than the $21,000. I seen them go for $5,000, $6,000. And it's just not right, you know, for me to be in this position because of this lady here.
And yet, you signed the birth certificate willingly.
Yes.
Yes, you know, I was under the impression that could have been the only person that could have been this child's father.
You signed that birth certificate because you believed at that time it was your child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because that's what Ms. Frazier told you, and never told you there was the other person.
Yes, Your Honor, until about 6 months later.
After the child was already here.
Yes, Your
and
Honor.
you had already signed the birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor. I even went as far as after the child was born, a couple of weeks, I went to my boss and asked her for the money to loan me to get her a ring, and I proposed to this lady. And she took the ring and said, not right now, and put the ring on her finger. And
Why?
I'm here today to finally see that this is taken care of. After 18 years, we are here. And I still got to go back to the state of Missouri and hire someone before I go to jail.
Because Dallas is almost 18 now.
Yes, Your Honor.
However, you have all of these arrears that are still adding up,
Yes, Your Honor.
and
'cause-
you could go to jail for failure to pay child support.
Yes, you're right, Your Honor.
Dallas is now 18 years old.
Yes, he is. Yes, Your Honor.
Have you tried to develop any type of relationship
Yes,
with
Your
him?
Honor. Numerous times I have traveled over 300 miles to come and see him, and I would call.
At your convenience.
I would call and ask Miss Frazier, could I come by and see Dallas when I get there? Sure. Then when I would get up there on my way over, I would call and say, I'm on my way. Oh, we're somewhere else. We ain't at home. We can't do it today.
We have
And,
lives.
You
and
know,
we can't
yeah.
stop.
But
We change for a 10-minute visit.
understanding that I had called previously and asked you,
Well,
did I or did I not? No.
Not always.
You won't let me take him nowhere.
Whatever. He's
And he
18. He
refuses
can
to
go
go
all by
because
himself.
You got him brainwashed, I believe.
Frazier, is there a reason why you wouldn't allow him to see Mr. Whisler for
Growing
all
up?
those years?
Growing up, yeah, because I mean, he not once changed his diaper. Never, not even once.
I was at work during the day.
I was at home
and
every
you
night.
were out messing around.
How can I do that when I was raising 2 kids all by myself?
So
Prize
were you
visit.
aware, Miss Frazier, that all of these years he's been on the hook and responsible for child support?
I've tried to get them over and over numerous times to test the other man, and so because I can't afford to pay for it, and I've tried to get them to do it, and they have never done it.
So I pay for it until.
No, I haven't
Whatever.
asked for nothing from you.
Huh?
I have never asked for anything from you.
No, you haven't. The state of Missouri
Okay,
has.
there you go. That's not me.
Yeah, it is the same
No,
thing
it's not.
as you.
No, it's not.
For
And
lying to
Mr.
me this whole time.
Yeah, I
Mr.
lied to you.
Whisler, you submitted to the court pictures, and you feel like Dallas looks like you in many ways.
Yes, Your Honor. And I think there's a lot of resemblance.
And so if he is your son,
I
do
will
you
step
want
up to
to
the
develop
plate.
a relationship?
Yes, Your Honor, I certainly do. I will step up to the plate and do what I have to do to take care of this $21,000 that I am in debt. But
Jerome, I think it's time we meet Dallas. Can you escort him in, please? Mr. Whisler, thank you for joining us today. You realize why we're here.
Yes.
And so I have to ask you directly, do you believe Mr. Whisler is your biological father?
As I was growing up, I did believe he was my father, but I was always told that it could be somebody else.
You were
Yes.
always told.
Yes, she was
Which is
always
consistent
honest.
with your mother's testimony that she always tried to list the other person. Have you ever met this other man?
Yes, I have.
You have. Do you refer to him as Dad?
I did one time, but that was just to get his attention.
Okay. Do you have a relationship with that man?
Not anymore.
And how about Mr. Whisler? Do you refer to him as your dad?
Yes, all the time.
All the time?
Yes.
yes, he does, Your Honor.
You know, you're a young man, and just 18 years old, and this must be very difficult for you. Were you aware of the circumstances Mr. Whisler testified to, that he's been paying child support and been responsible for child support for you? You know he's on your birth certificate, right?
Yes, Your
You do know that, listed as your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And yet, for most of your life, you understood that it could be someone else.
Yes.
And nothing's been done about that for 18 years.
She has tried to, but Missouri has not answered anything that she has tried to tell them or ever tried to change the birth certificate.
So you have personally witnessed firsthand your mother make the attempt to change your birth certificate?
I've seen her try to get the other guy listed as the father.
Now, why, Ms. Frazier, would you change the birth certificate to be the other guy when you don't know for certain if it's him either?
So that the state wouldn't be going after him.
Okay. So you
Because
trying to...
I've never felt that he should have to pay the child support, and because it wasn't right.
Here I am, stuck with this $21,000 debt still.
But I've tried to keep them from
Not-
doing it.
You know, this does not make
But
it go away.
Mr. Whisler, I have to inform you, because you signed the birth certificate, you may still be responsible for
Yes,
that
Your Honor.
$21,000.
Yes, I understand.
Depending on today's results, you will have the opportunity to return to your home state and see if perhaps there is a way you can get that $21,000 debt erased. However, there are no guarantees.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand this.
But if
but-
Dallas is your biological son, understand, then you are rightfully responsible
Yes,
for
Your
that
Honor,
debt.
I certainly am.
Okay?
I love this young man with all of my heart, and always have, and always will. And I'm here today to get the final answers.
Well, I
that
have
I've been
those
looking
answers for you. Jerome, the envelope. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Whisler v. Frazier, when it comes to the paternity of Mr. Dallas Whisler, Mr. Whisler, you are not his father.
Dallas, that still is not going to change my love for you and wanting to spend time with you.
I still love you too.